Simmental-influenced cattle that is raised by he, his wife, and a couple of kids as well. So Brandon Callis, our market beef judge today from Brenham, Texas. I'd also like to thank a number of our sponsors, including
Apologize for taking a little more time, but it could quite possibly be the deepest set in one class that I've gotten to judge. Everybody decided to show up in the same class here as far as I'm concerned. Really got a lot of quality all the way through. And again, I'm going to be nitpicky on these things. That's the only way to get down and sort them. Cat that wins the class hits me pretty hard when he comes in. I think that's a very fresh looking one. That's a very muscular animal. When you finally get your hands on him, that one's got plenty of cover and finish. It's very fresh in that aspect. The thing I like about him is he's still flexible when he gets and goes. Maybe not the biggest footed one in this class by no means. Got a little bit of shoulder in him, but he's going to have that to have the kind of power that he brings you from behind. So neat in his neck, good in his presentation, puts things together fairly well out here amongst this class. I like him to win. Cat we have here in second. If you want to call him the most problem-free, I wouldn't have a big argument with you. Really good in his body. I love the freshness of this one. I like the handle to his top there. Adequate enough in terms of his stride. I think he's long strided, but maybe just still a little tighter in his hop. But when she puts them together there, he puts together a pretty good picture of balance as far as his front end, his body shape's concerned. I think at first maybe I didn't want to call him stout enough in this class, but when you really get down to analyzing him, there's still a lot of calf to that one. Gray one's a hard one to read. You put your hands on him, there isn't a fresher, better finished one in the class. Big back. Really got the right kind of cover over his rib cage. I like the body shape of that one. I like the stoutness of him. Of these three, he starts to be the one that kind of falls apart the longer we have him out here. Gets a little deeper in his chest floor. Wants to get up on his passions more than he needs to. And for me personally, I like to see him use his rear skeleton in a touch more attractive fashion. Just wants to get out and maybe duck walk from behind a touch more than I like him to. But that's a nice kind of a steer as well. Just wish we could change that rear skeleton on him today. Calf we have here next just gets a little stale for me. I do like his time and his look, his level. Again, at first you don't realize how tall the calf is because the gentleman showing him is definitely not vertically challenged at all. And so you kind of get a misread on that one. When you really start to study it, that one's got a little leg underneath him for me. He gets just a little flatter there over his top. I wish you could open that one up with a touch more dimension right there over his top, maybe freshening up just a touch of his handle. Still a nice kind of a steer. Again, if he's got enough of those areas for you, he can win the class as well. Problem steer became old chocolate here. Chocolate calf. Tell you what, standing still, obviously I like him pretty well. Big, stout, square hip, the right kind of body shape to him, attractive look. Longer he's out there, you just wish he had bigger feet to walk off of. That one's got a big square hip in back in him, just not the feet to go along with to sustain all that power and stoutness he's got up high. Calf will bring out here next. Big square hip in him, he's got a big back as well. Another one that hits me just a touch stale. He's fresh haired, but a little chesty, a little high in his flank. He too wants to get up on his passions and get that hind leg underneath him a little bit. If he's good enough in those areas for you again, he's one that can float up quite a bit in this class as well. Steer we'll bring out here one that's got some body and some top in it. Want to change him right there behind the shoulder for me, maybe open him up a little better. I want to relax him up front. It's a little straighter in the angle to his shoulder, wants to be a little tighter in the way he moves. Real fuzzy, well, right what we have here next. Lots of body. Your initial just presentation to him, you like him. Hits you pretty hard in terms of quality. He's the one when you study him right off the bat. His feet aren't right. His joints probably just aren't right underneath all that hair. And then when you get your hands on him, there's probably not as much substance as you would once initially think about that calf. I just wish he moved a little better, a little more comfortable. Maybe we moved him up a lot.